What's good everybody, Starmeistr here. 2022 has just begun, so I decided to do something great and extra special and go all the way back to Kanto and play a Pokemon FireRed Hardcore Nuzlocke. But we will be playing this run as a future Kanto champion himself, Lance. But why did I choose to play as Lance? Well, it's because today is the birthday of one of my best friends in the Pokemon community and one of the 3 iconic members of the Anipoke G-Man, Pokefurlax. He is literally the biggest Lance stan in the world, so go ahead and greet him with a happy birthday. So, taking into account Lance's teams in the main series games, Pokemon FireRed bestows us only 5 encounters. And the complete rules for this Nuzlocke are found in the description below, but to summarize, I can only catch the first Lance-owned Pokemon that I encounter in each specific area. When a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and must be permanently boxed. The Nuzlocke should be played on Sat mode. Bag items are not permitted during battles, but Hell items are allowed. No overleveling past the highest leveled Pokemon of the gym leader or Elite Four member, but overleveling during the battle is allowed. And of course, I should nickname every member of the team. And also, I am banning the move Dragon Dance in this run because we all know how OP it was in our Renegade Platinum playthrough. If you haven't watched that video yet, then go ahead and do it. It's definitely the Nuzlocke that I'm most proud of from 2021. And one more thing, we're playing on Dupes class, so as infamous as Lance was for his 3 Dragonites, we'll only be using 1 Dragonite for this run. So sit back, relax and enjoy, and if you do, consider giving this video a thumbs up, it helps out a lot. Also, before anything else, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more fun content. Oh, and follow me on Twitter at Starmeistr where we talk about Nuzlockes and Anipoke. And since I wish not to prolong your agony, let's begin our Pokemon FireRed Hardcore Nuzlocke using only Lance's team. I named my rival Leon because right now, this game officially has Lance as the most powerful trainer in the world until Blue, or in this case Leon, becomes a champion, which is sort of a parallel to the Pokemon Journeys anime. While I was trying to sneak out of Pallet Town like a true member of the G-Man, Professor Oak caught me in this unlawful act and punished us by giving us our starter Pokemon. Bulbasaur, Charmander, Blastoise. 3 Pokemon with pretty draconic attributes, but Charmander is the only one officially owned by the king, so we're forced to choose it. I named him Balarian, and we easily defeated Leon Squirtle because they just decided to spam Tail Whips. Next, we went through the early game, delivered some parcels, blah blah blah, burned our way through Viridian Forest, then faced our biggest obstacle in this run, Brock. Now, Brock is one of those gym leaders whose level of difficulty varies heavily on your starter choice. Obviously, if I had Bulbasaur or Squirtle, I would quickly breeze through Brock with both eyes closed. Like Brock himself. But we happen to have picked Charmander because we hate ourselves, so yeah, this wasn't easy, like, at all. And for those who said Charmander is better against Brock in Gen 3 than in Gen 1 because of Metal Claw, no. Onix now has a Rock Tomb, so Charmander actually is probably worse in FireRed and Leaf Green in this battle. Anyways, I was still pretty confident with Charmander's adamant nature to pull us through because what else do I have but the slightest bit of confidence? I challenged Brock as he led with Geodude. Metal Claw did like less than half health, but they just used Defense Curl. Next turn, we brought them to the red and they decided to tackle us. On the final turn, I finished them with another Metal Claw. We didn't even get a single attack boost. And out came the Onix. Metal Claw did about 1/3 of their health as Rock Tomb brought us down to 14 HP. Now, I needed to get 2 of the following scenarios to win the battle. Outspeed or crit our Metal Claw, or for the next Rock Tomb to miss. And they outsped and killed us with Rock Tomb. I restarted the game several times and challenged Brock several times, but skill alone was never enough to beat Brock. I needed a great amount of luck to win this battle. During those attempts, I also learned that Ember might be the better move to use because of the burn chance. In the final attempt, I got my hands on a plus special attack, minus special defense, rash nature Charmander, and this was how the battle went. On the first turn, I hit Geodude with Ember as they just went for the useless Defense Curl. On the second turn, Ember managed to crit as they still used Defense Curl. This allowed us to KO the Geodude at full health. Finally came the dreaded Onix. Right off the bat, we crit our Ember as they brought us to half health with Rock Tomb. Next turn, they outsped but missed the Rock Tomb as we again crit our Ember. On the final turn, they again missed their Rock Tomb, allowing us to land the finishing Ember. That was probably the luckiest I've ever been in a battle. I mean, triple crits and double misses? It's like a once-in-a-lifetime odds, and I have RNG to thank for not wasting more of my time. So as a reward for finally beating Brock, Balerion evolved into Charmeleon. Now that the hardest part of the game is done, we continued our expedition to becoming a Dragon Master by going northeast and purchasing our next encounter from this Magikarp salesman. Meet Meraxis the Magikarp with the plus special attack, minus defense, mild nature, and the swift swim ability. This part of the game was actually pretty difficult for XP management because we had to keep Balerion's XP on the low so that if I had to switch grind Meraxis later, Balerion wouldn't get overleveled. I made sure to battle only the unskippable trainers until I reached Cerulean City. When I got there, the first thing I did was obviously to grind and evolve Meraxis into Gyarados, which by the way took quite a long time. Now, I have an excellent working history with Gyarados, so I faced Misty without much worries. First was Staryu, and Bite did less than half health, but their Water Pulse thankfully didn't paralyze us. Next turn, we beat them again as they used Recover. On the third turn, our Bite caused them to flinch, provoking Misty to heal on the following turn, but we just brought them back to above half health. I then decided to try a Tackle, and it crit. So next was Starmie. They outsped and used a pathetic Swift as our Bite did about the same damage as against Staryu despite the super effective damage. The second Swift managed to crit, but there's no need to worry because we probably won't die to a crit on the next turn, allowing Meraxis to finish a Starmie with 2 more bites. I'm pretty sure this battle inspired Misty to get her own Gyarados. You're welcome, Misty. Anyways, it's time to head north and get challenged by Leon, who tried his best. But like, Pidgeotto just died to a bunch of embers and Meraxis just swept his Squirtle, Abra, and Rattata. In Cerulean Cape, I assisted Bill on taking off his Halloween costume, which he's been wearing for like 2 months now. And because of that, he awarded me the SS ticket. Upon exiting Cerulean City, I found out that this Rocket Grunt was stealing the Dig TM from this household. So the G-Man in me sought justice and crushed this Grunt and took back the Dig TM. For myself. And taught it to Balerion. In the SSN, it was Nugget Bridge all over again as Balerion embered the Pidgeotto to death as Meraxis swept his now evolved Wartortle, Eradicate, and Kadabra. I then robbed the back of some stranger and he rewarded me for the Cut TM for that. With access to Cut, I can now battle Surge in the Vermilion Gym. And this was a battle that I was worried about the most next to Brock because his Raichu can set up double teams and paralyze us with Thunder Waves. Surge led with Voltorb as he sent in Balerion. Dig almost killed them as Sonic Boom did around 1/3 of my health. They then wasted their Super Potion but 2 Embers took it down. Second was Pikachu. We dug a hole on the first turn as they used Double Team. Of course we missed our dig as Pikachu landed a Thunder Wave but the Cherry Berry just healed the paralysis. We tried to use another dig and managed to connect. That's 2 Pokemon down and out came the Raichu. We hit our first dig but they managed to paralyze us on the second turn. On the next turn, they hit us with Shockwave, which would have killed us if it crit, but we tried out our luck and went for Dig again. Ember probably should have been the ideal move, but whatever. Balerion's Dig hit through. Literally another battle in which I had no control of. Once again, thank you, RNG. Our next destination was Celadon City, so we exited the Rock Tunnel, wasted no time, and immediately challenged Erika. With a Fire type and Flying type on my team, this battle should be easy, right? I mean, it's Erika. I led with Balerion and got a burn on the Victory Bell, which halved the damage done by Acid. The next Ember killed it, and next was especially frail Tangela, so of course it just died. Third was Vileplume. Ember did less than half health as I used Stun Spore. But I had a Chesto Berry instead of a Cherry Berry because I was much more scared of sleep than paralysis. They then used Acid as our Ember brought them to the red. Erika obviously healed on the next turn, and we finally got the burn on the Vileplume. Erika then wasted her full heal as we never got fully paralyzed and killed the Vileplume with the final Ember. Now, it's time to put our G-Man training into practice as we infiltrated the Rocket hideout in the Celadon game corner. Giovanni was such a joke, like Onyx dead, Rhyhorn dead, Kangaskhan dead. Like, is he taking me too lightly? Does he know that I am a champion in the making? Moving on, we visited Leon as he grieves for his fallen Eradicate in the Lavender Tower. And for the 3rd rival fight in a row, the exact same thing basically happened. Pidgeotto dead, Wartortle dead, Growlithe dead, Execute dead, Kadabra dead. After killing the ghost illusion that is actually the spirit of the Mother Marowak, we again beat Team Rocket and Mr. Fuji took us home with him. There, he gave us the Poke-Flute, which allowed me to awaken the sleeping Snorlax blocking the road and grab the Super Rod from this fisherman. So that means after a very long time, I can finally catch our next encounter in the form of Horsey, who I named Veigar, and she's got the Swift Swim ability and the neutral docile nature. And now that I have enough money, I can finally purchase enough coins to buy myself a Dratini from the game corner. How hypocritical of me to take down Team Rocket yet contribute to the monetary success of their business. Anyways, I named Dratini Regal, and she's got the Shed Skin ability and a plus special attack, minus attack, modest nature. The level cap between Erika and Koga is 14 levels, so now I had to grind my Pokemon. During the grinding process, Balarian evolved into Charizard, Veigar evolved into Seadra, and Regal evolved into Dragonair. I then went all the way south to Fuchsia City to grab the Gold Teeth and HM for Surf. I gave back the Gold Teeth to the Safari Warden, so he rewarded me with the HM for Strength. Then, I heard that Team Rocket had taken Silph Co into hostage. So G-Man Lance had to bring justice to this chaotic city. And somehow, Leon was in the building? Is he secretly working for Team Rocket? Anyways, I led with my newly evolved Charizard against his Pidgeot. Balarian always gets the burn in major battles, I love it. It wasn't long until Pidgeot went down to another flamethrower. Next was a Blastoise, and I tried sending out Regal, but we took plenty of damage from Bite. So I decided to switch to the ever-reliable Miraxis. Of course, she just killed the Blastoise and Oko the Growlithe. I then switched to Balarian for the Execute, who managed to Oko it despite getting afflicted with Stun Spore. Last was the Alakazam, so I switched back to Miraxis and KO'd it with a couple of strengths. We finally reached Giovanni's chamber. And for a climactic boss battle, why does he still have a Nidorino? Veigar just two-shot it with Surfs, and the same thing happened with Nidoqueen. Third was the Kangaskhan, which led me to switch to Miraxis for the Intimidate, as they pretty much just cancel it by using Tail Whip. I tried using Surf, but their Stab Mega Punch did more damage. I decided to switch to Regal just to land a Thunder Wave, and then pivot to Balarian to KO it with Flamethrower. Last was a Rhyhorn. I switched to Veigar and finished it with a single Surf. Giovanni, you're gonna need more than this to beat me, let alone take over the entire region. With Team Rocket gone, for now, I resumed my gym challenge adventure and faced Koga. His coughing was just a one-shot with Flamethrower. Muck was second, and it was so annoying because it would spam Minimize, making them virtually untouchable. Then, just as soon as I almost killed it, Koga would use his Hyper Potion. But good thing, Balarian had a pretty keen eye, so it wasn't long until we took down Muck. His second coughing was just as bad as the first one, and finally was a wheezing. Flamethrower brought him to the red, as Sludge didn't poison nor damage us severely. So, after another heal from Koga, we just KO'd it with a couple more Flamethrowers. Before challenging Sabrina, I first decided to fly across the clouds and all the way to Pewter City to grab the old Amber from the scientist. I then surfed my way south of Pallet Town and into Cinnabar Island. There, I revived the old Amber fossil and awakened the ancient Aerodactyl. I named him Viserion, and he's got the pressure ability and the docile nature. Seriously, Lance's Pokemon are either given or bought. Like, Seadra is literally the only one who was actually caught. After a little bit more grinding, I finally challenged Sabrina. With the Psychic type being OP in Kanto, I believe most people agree that Sabrina is the most difficult gym leader of the region. But I beg to disagree, because Miraxis the Gyarados, a 100% guaranteed encounter, basically just one-shot return all of her Pokemon. If a Pokemon can be swept by guaranteed encounters like Gyarados, then I don't think she deserves to be called as the hardest gym leader. I guess in one way or another, she might be one of the easiest gym leaders out there for a normal Nuzlocke, at least in my opinion. In the Cinnabar Mansion, I almost had a heart attack after an Electrode nearly killed my Veigar. But we're fine, boys. We grabbed the secret key and invaded the Cinnabar gym like a Chad. And speaking of the easiest gym leaders, here we have Blaine, the leader of them all. The battle was literally Growlithe dead, Ponyta dead, Rapidash dead, Arcanine dead. I skipped over the optional Sevi Islands arc and I heard that the Viridian City gym leader finally returned. And it's Giovanni. Anyways, Rhyhorn obviously went down to a single Surf, and next was Dugtrio. This turn, I set up Rain Dance, and I decided to do this now instead of earlier because Rhyhorn could have set up a scary face against us which would ruin my plans, and I don't want that. With Rain, I can Oko all of Giovanni's remaining Pokemon. So, Dugtrio dead, Nidoqueen dead, Nidoking dead, Rhyhorn dead. I feel like Giovanni is the most underwhelming gym leader ever. He's got all the qualities in him to make him the most badass of all, but they just dropped the ball with his team. I mean, 2 Rhyhorns? He's like the ideal definition of a fool's gold. On my way to Victory Road, Leon probably got lost again, so he went back and challenged me. I led with Veigar against his Pidgeot. Ice Beam almost killed as they retaliated with Wing Attack, but they procced our Poison Point ability, so they just died. On that note, Execute dead, Growlithe dead, Rhyhorn dead. For the Alakazam, I switched to Miraxis, and of course we just one-shot it with Return, not that we needed the crit, to be honest. Last was a Blastoise, and it just died to a couple of returns and a couple of Dragon Rages. I always love how the Kanto games have an actual pathway where guards check on your badges before going to Victory Road. It makes me feel like an actual competent trainer. I eventually reached Victory Road, and there I battled this cool trainer Colby who brought all of my Pokemon to below half health. He was insane. Good thing all of my Pokemon made it out of the battle and the Victory Road alive. And we're here, boys, the Pokemon League. But before challenging the Elite Four and Champion, I first had to grind my dragons, and Regal finally evolved into Lance's most iconic ace, Dragonite. Without further ado, let me present you the team that I used to massacre the Pokemon League. Viserion the Aerodactyl with a move pool of Fly, Ancient Power, Hyper Beam, and Bite. Veigar the Seadra with a move pool of Surf, Ice Beam, Rain Dance, and Twister. Miraxis the Gyarados with a move pool of Surf, Return, Earthquake, and Bite. Balarion the Charizard with a move pool of Flamethrower, Fly, Dig, and Brick Break. And finally, Regal the Dragonite with a move pool of Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Wing Attack, and Thunder Wave. This team looks super strong on paper, but we'll see how it fares against the Pokemon League. With that being said, it's time to take home the coveted champion title we deserve. First was Lorelei, the Ice-type specialist, the bane of my existence. I led with Viserion against her Dugong. And from past experiences, this always uses Hail or Safeguard on the first turn, so we confidently went for Ancient Power which brought them to the red. But they used Surf, which we lived. Next turn, Lorelei wasted her full restore, but 2 more Ancient Powers took down the Dugong. And yeah, no Omniboost for us. Second was a Cloyster, and the safest play was to switch to Balarion. They just used Spike, so we're all good. We clicked on Flamethrower, and their poor special defense stat was enough for them to not survive our attack. Third was Lapras, arguably the biggest threat in this team. Predicting a Surf, I switched to Miraxis. Next turn, I used Return to bring them down to above half health as he just used an Ice Beam. Another Return brought them to the red, but this time they went for Confuse Ray, which was useless because we've got a Lomberry. Lorelei didn't heal, so the third Return killed her ace. Fourth was a physically defensive Slowbro, so I tried using Bite, which brought them right above half health. They used Yawn though, so on the next turn, I switched to Balarion. I went back to Miraxis to absorb the Surf and kill them with 2 more Bites. Last was a Jinx, which just died to a single return. Second was Bruno, the fighting type and Onyx specialist. And it's time for Regal to stand up and show the world what it means to be champion ace. With the Ice Beam and Wing Attack under my belt, Onyx won, dead. Hitmonchan, dead. Machamp survived and landed a super effective Rock Tomb, but it didn't do much, plus we still outsped, so Machamp, dead. Hitmonlee missed the Mega Kick, so Hitmonlee, dead. And finally, Onyx 2, dead. Who needs 3 Dragonites when 1 is more than enough? Third was Agatha, the Ghost/Poison type specialist. And I led with Balarion against the first Gengar. Flamethrower again got the burn, so it just died after using a double team. Second was Golbat. Flamethrower almost killed it as we easily tanked an Air Cutter. Next turn, Agatha healed, but we got a high roll, so Golbat, dead. Third was the Arbok, and oh my gosh, another burn? They did poison us with Sludge Bomb, but Lomberry just healed us, and another Flamethrower took it down. Fourth was our second Gengar, and guess what? Burn again! This Charizard is seriously broken. Of course, next turn we just killed them. And finally was the Haunter, which never stood a chance. That's 3 Elite Four down, only 1 to go. And it's none other than the coolest, strongest, and bestest character of the entire Pokemon franchise. When battling King Lance, there's actually only one thing you need. Well, 2 things. Bolt Beam. With Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, Gyarados, dead. Dragonair 1, dead. Dragonair 2, dead. Dragonite, dead. The Aerodactyl outsped, so they damaged us with Ancient Power, but Aerodactyl, dead. Okay, we're dead to crit here, but I know Lance is gonna use a full restore, so I went for another Ice Beam. Next turn, I wasn't sure what he's gonna do, so I did a safe switch to Veigar, but he just loves spamming full restores. And with Stab Surf on Veigar, Aerodactyl dead. After beating Imposter Lance, it's finally time to face our longtime rival, the most powerful trainer in the world, Leon. The perfect ending to this amazing Nuzlocke. I led with Veigar against Pidgeot. Veigar is that Pokemon who I thought was just gonna be the death fodder, but she surprised me with how she performed this run. We effortlessly absorbed an Aerial Ace and two-shot them with Ice Beams. Second was Exeggutor, and I wasn't confident with Ice Beam killing, so I safely switched to Balarion who just OHKO'd it with Flamethrower. Third was Blastoise, and my initial plan here was to just sweep them with Miraxis. But Return didn't do much as I hoped for, as Blastoise set up a Rain Dance. Return brought them to the orange, as Hydro Pump did so much damage. We both recovered some HP with Citrus Berry, then both our attacks brought each other to the red. I forgot about healing, so next turn I went for Return, which brought them to more than half health. Predicting a Hydro Pump, I switched to Regal and just KO'd it with Thunderbolt. Rhydon then succumbed to a single Ice Beam, and next was the Alakazam. They used Reflect, so Wing Attack only did minimal damage. Next turn, we risked a crit and hit them with Thunder Wave, but I forgot about Synchronize, so we got paralyzed too. I then switched to my starter Balarion, who was okay at tanking the Psychic as we finished them the next turn with a Burning Flamethrower. Last was the Arcanine. They started with extreme speed as we tried using Dig. Even with Reflect being gone now, Dig still did nothing. So I switched to Viserion to absorb the extreme speed. Ancient Power almost killed it as their Flamethrower didn't do much. Leon had nothing left other than his full restores, but 2 more Ancient Powers killed the dog. And with that, I, Lance of Blackthorn City, finally reclaimed my status as champion of the Kanto region. This was a simple yet fun challenge, definitely a refreshing way to start the year. There definitely were some huge obstacles in the early game, but some of the future battles turned out to be easier than I expected. Of course, I'm using Lance's team after all, so there shouldn't be any surprises there. Once again, happy birthday to my buddy Pokefurlax. I hope you enjoyed this cute little birthday present. And to everyone watching this video, I'm truly, madly, deeply grateful and thankful. It means the world to me. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment down below which Nuzlocke run you want me to do next. Also subscribe to Pokefurlax's channel, the link is in the description below. And follow us on Twitter at Starmeistr and at Pokefurlax. In the name of the Anipoke G-Man, enjoy your time hammering away Pokemon champions and become the most powerful trainer in the world! Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you all in the next one!